Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rendezvous Take One with Nandita. And today I have with me a person behind the famous brand Kolapsi. Who is he? What does he do? A lot of us have had food from this joint, and we know this brand is known for customer service and doing things differently. But is the person who's the co founder of this brand also like that? What does he do to stand out? He believes that either you need to stand out or you stay behind. So, what is his personal brand? What has been his journey? I'm going to find that out today while we talk to him. And I would encourage you to ask a lot of questions because here is a person who I met a couple of years back who has a brand which is hatke a little different and he ensures that he stays a little different. So, welcome. I'm going to welcome Santosh on this episode today. And just waiting for Santosh. Yes. Hi, Santosh. Welcome to Rendezvous Take One with Nandita.
Hey Nanita, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thanks for doing wonderful. Thanks for bringing me in. It's been a
I'm
long time
sorry.
we've been planning this, right? It's been
Yes,
a few weeks
a
that we've been
very
trying to
long.
plan this, and finally it's happening today. Yeah.
So, Santosh, finally, I am able to catch you, a guy who's always on his bike, right?
It's just that I have no choice right now. I have
And
no
why do
choice.
you say so? Why do you say
So,
so, Santosh?
because I have to do a lot more things right now, like because of
Mm-hmm.
COVID and all those things. Right now, I've gone back to my previous version of Santosh 7 years, 7.5 years back when we started that first outlet. Right, so now I'm travel. I'm time traveling back. I'm doing all the same work from grunt, building a new city, right? And it's so exciting. It's so exciting, and being in a bike, it gives me uh, the freedom to start whenever I want. I don't have to depend on a bus or a flight or whatnot, right? And at least 300, 400 kilometers, like which I can go in a day. So I just start, and I was in Bangalore last week, like 2 days back, 3 days back, yeah, 3 days back.
Yeah,
So
three
life
days
is
ago.
fun. Life is exciting.
So, for the people who are listening to us first time, if you want your food to be delivered, trust me, Santosh will personally, and I've seen him do that. He's gone all the way to Bangalore, Coimbatore to deliver packages of food. So, guys, here is a guy who has, we talk about customer service, we talk about going out for your customer. Here's a guy who goes out and out for their customers. So Santosh, I think met you in 2017 for the first time, and I found you a very
Yeah.
interesting person. Let me use that word for now. Okay, so I want you to share what has been your journey from the time you thought of taking up entrepreneurship till 2000, a couple of years back when you established Kolapasi for the first time, and how has it been?
Uh, it's been very rewarding in one sense.
Okay.
Internally it's very rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
Externally it's very difficult to compare because
Okay.
I do not like comparisons at all. Because if I compare,
Uh-huh.
I have to feel really bad because people of my age and my classmates and whatnot, they're doing extremely well in their career. But I have
Uh-huh.
to go 10 years back. I have to start from scratch. Like just imagine, like you're driving a car, right? And then you go
Mm-hmm.
back to a bike and then a cycle and you start walking again, right? You have to build everything from scratch. So, and I was up to it, and luckily I had a wonderful wife, supporting wife. So because of her, I was able to take the plunge, and it's been extremely rewarding in one sense personally because I'm able to rebuild myself as a person. Okay, I was able to look into myself. Okay, Santosh, who are you? Like, what are you trying to do? What's your agenda in this life? What do you really want to do in life? Because something was not really fitting in the puzzle when I was in the US. Something was not right with me. Okay, there was not much creativity within me. I'm a very creative person. Um, I'm like a fortune teller. Like, I can predict the future, and most of my predictions have come right. And I'm more like the visionary kind. I'm not like the detail-oriented guy. I can't sit and work
Okay.
on a financial sheet number. That's why I have a wonderful co-founder with me, Aditya Raju. He's excellent in those things. So to cut the answer short,
Uh-huh.
what I love the uncertainty of being in a business. That makes me
Okay.
alive. Like if this everything is so is so limited, out. Like if you have to do this, that, right? Then life becomes so boring for me. Just being, I would love to be in the jungle, okay, rather eaten
Okay.
by a lion or a tiger than be in a zoo, be very comfortable. So that's me for me. I do not love to be in the comfort zone. For me, it has to be in the open. It has to be in the wild. So that's me. That wakes me up. That keeps me alive. Keeps me alive.
Santosh, are you on Wi-Fi cordless mics?
Yeah,
Can you?
I'm on
Do you have a
Bluetooth.
wired mic? Yeah, your voice is cracking at times. So do you have a wired mic? Or if you can just take them off, I think that your voice is loud enough. We can hear you.
I do
Because
not
there
have
is
a
a
wired mic.
slight.
One second. Let
So
me switch
just
off the
take off
fan.
your mics. Yeah, just try that
Okay.
because
I've switched off the fan right now. I think you should hear me better right now. Is it okay? Is it
yeah,
better
much
now?
better, much better. Yeah, yeah, much
Okay.
much
I've
better.
switched off the fan. Yes.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, go
So,
ahead.
Santosh, you said you were in US. What made you come to India and start a food chain of all things? And we're going to talk about Kolapasi a little later after that. So what
No,
made you do that?
I did not. No, I did not come back just to start a food chain. I
Okay.
came back because I wanted to do something different. Wanted to
Okay.
do something on my own. Wanted to do some business. I want to take some risk because I was in
Okay.
that stage of my life whether if I'm going to work for a few more years, right, I will surely end up working until 60 years. So I was in that phase of my life where either I have to jump right now or I will never jump into it. So I came back and I was like almost about. I even prepped up my resume, right? My
Okay.
resume is ready. I was about to email to a couple of companies, IT companies. I worked in software in the US, so I could easily get one job here. It's not a big deal at that point of time. There was no recession because 2011 beginning. So I
Yeah.
was. I mean, I could easily talk my way into a job, like so I'm pretty good in communication, whatnot, right? I can easily handle
I agree.
a team of people. So that's not a big deal. So I was about to, my resume was ready. I polished it and whatnot. I was about to send it. And that was that time my wife, she said, Santosh, this ain't your game, buddy. I know you have a lot of things within you. I know you're very creative. You want to do a lot of stuff. Don't worry about the household or whatnot. I will take care of the household. I'll go get a job, and you go and pursue your dream. So that was the golden ticket for me. For me to go and actually take the plunge. I don't think so. If today, if somebody is saying, "Oh, Santosh, you have made become an entrepreneur," I think 99% credit goes to my wife. 1% comes to me. If not for her, I doubted whether I would have had that the risk-taking appetite. So she's been the pillar. So
Wow.
all credit goes to her.
So everybody who's listening and wants to get into entrepreneurship, find a wife who can support you in your dreams, right? That
No,
is
no,
your
no,
first
no, 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 no,
lesson.
no, no. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Don't make me a marriage consultant. Don't make me a marriage consultant. All these guys will come, Santosh sir. I will also want to become entrepreneur. Find me a girl. I don't want that.
So all the talks that you give in B school will start with please find a good wife to be able to become an entrepreneur. So we are not advocating that anymore, right?
No, what works one decade back might not work right now. Okay, because it's not the wife. It's not wife. It's not the underlying factor. It's the girl behind the wife. It's Sanchita, the underlying factor. Okay, so I cannot generalize wife as say, but but I can specialize saying that it's her. It's not the wife category.
Okay. So
Don't
Santosh,
land me into trouble, Nandita. Don't land me into trouble.
that's my job, to get the real you out. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I have seen you in a different avatar also. So that is what. Um, okay. So, you are first gen entrepreneur and food business has never been an easy business. Though they say a lot of margins are there, food business, it never goes out of
No, no.
this thing.
Bring the guy who's telling you there's a lot of margin. Bring me the guy. I'll make him a soup today.
So because
There
that's
are
what we
only
do.
margins.
Food and
There
clothes
are
are two
only margins.
businesses. They're
No,
all.
no. There are only margins in a white paper, right? You can put a margin there. There's no margin in the food business. Somebody bring it on to me.
No, so
Yeah, it's
what I
extremely
want to
tough.
understand it, what made you do food business? Are you a foodie by nature? So what made you do this is what I want to understand. Yeah.
No, foodie is one of the most misconstrued word in the world. Foodie.
Okay.
People think
Okay.
People think you go to 4 restaurants, you take a picture. Oh, I'm a foodie. Right? It's they're not foodies. So I wouldn't have called myself foodie, right? But
Hmm.
but I have an innate connection with food because both of my parents used to work, so they used to come back late from office, and I come back from school, so I had to pick up my culinary skills. So way when I was the third standard, fourth standard, fifth grade, and whatnot. Right? So I always had the love to innovate and do something different. And my mom is a fantastic cook, and I had to live in the US for 8 years. With 7 years as single. So you have to develop all the skill sets. So every time I found a roommate in the US, right, the deal between us is that, dude, okay, you're going to wash the utensils because I hate washing utensils.
Okay. I think we've lost Santhosh. I'll just bring him back. So you guys, in the meantime, can ask your questions. We have a couple of questions coming in. I would like you to have more questions for Santosh.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
Santosh.
I'm here back. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So
Go
so
ahead.
the deal is you are the washer, I'm the cooker. So I will cook and you will wash. So all of
And
my
that was
roommates
a
were
good deal, I'm
they,
sure.
all of my roommates were extremely happy because I would cook, I would do the
Right.
cooking, and I would love doing that, right? And people used to drive 150 miles, 200 miles over the weekend just to eat my what is that? Mutton paya. I'm a specialist
Hmm.
in paya. Like I used to do that, and people would drive 150 kilometers, 150 miles to come to my place to eat over the weekend. So I picked up all those things. They're very innovative. I want to try new dishes. So that's one part of it, and that's not the reason I started. We started the Kolapsi, right? The idea of starting a food brand. My first business was garments. I used to run a garment retail outlet in Hyderabad, and that was decent
Okay.
enough. I learned my business there. Like it's like you go into LKG, you learn ABC, but you can't stay in LKG forever. Right? You have to graduate and move up the ladder. So the first retail business gave me exposure on how to connect with customers, like how to understand people, how to talk to them, whatnot. I did fantastic customer service to them. There was, anytime you can come in, you take, you don't like it, you can return, cashback, nothing. Like I built a great customer service
Hmm.
brand out there. So, but then I knew that I couldn't scale that because there's a lot of issues in terms of importing the garments I was selling. So there was some limitations. I figured, okay, this is a great start, but this vehicle, this is a BMW, but I cannot take BMW and go to USA, right? This vehicle is not, so I cannot. So I have to change the vehicle. So I was thinking about what can I build which I can scale across the globe. So that was the thought process, for
Okay.
us, for me when I
Hmm.
came up with the idea. So I came up with the idea and pitched the idea to my co-founders. I said, like, man, let's build a food brand, which we can scale it across the world because there are not much Indian scalable world brands. Like I lived in the US, I saw McDonald's, Burger King, like there's so many brands, but not even a single Indian cuisine brand which was able to scale. So then we went back, we figured, okay, what is this bloody problem? Why is Indian food not able to scale? Because of the way it is made. And to make Indian food, you need masters or chef. But to make American or continental or like pizzas or burgers, you don't need a chef or master. So the light bulb went on. I thought, okay, how can we make Indian food into a process, into a system? So that's when it all started, and it all fell in place. Then when we started, so that's the story behind. So our whole goal was to build a chefless or a masterless Indian scalable model, and we are almost there. We're like 80-90% there. Like today, there are 2 cities, and then third and fourth city coming up in another month. Third city is coming up this month. Fourth city is coming up month after that, and we're in talks with Australia, talks with the UK, with Saudi Arabia. So we talk, at least one country will kick off by next year. So we are in the process. So we are about to crack the model.
So, hasn't the pandemic affected your business at all?
In one way, yes. In another way, it has multiplied our business.
Okay.
It took us
Okay.
it took us 4 years to go to 4 outlets in one city in Chennai.
Hmm.
But it took us only 4 months to do that in Coimbatore, in spite of the pandemic. In spite of the pandemic, because
Okay.
of our model, because right now, if you have a very bulky, extensive restaurant, you will not be able to survive because of your overhead expenses. Your costs are so high. So we already built extremely light model. So we are one of the only South Indian brands, probably in India, where you do not need a chef or a master to run an outlet. And we can run an entire outlet less than 50,000 rupees a month, which is like unheard in the restaurant industry. You need minimum of lakh and a half, 2 lakhs to just to run a restaurant. Your operational expenses would go up to that. So since we have a very small operational expenses, we can survive the pandemic because we don't have to do a lot of revenue to break even. So since our
Okay.
model was effectively built, and we've already have 7 years of expertise in running this model, the franchisee inquiries came in pouring to us. It just started pouring in because due to the pandemic, people who are working in jobs, they also felt that job and business are equally dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Initially, they thought business is dangerous, so they jumped into jobs, right? Now they realize both are bloody dangerous. Why don't I even
Might as well do
even
business.
yeah, anyways, I don't know whether they're going to fire me today or
At
tomorrow,
least I'm
right?
my own boss, right? On
Something of
paper.
that sort. So
On
something of
paper.
that sort. Yeah, something of that sort. So everybody started to realize that, oh my God, let me also try something
Okay.
business. So what business? So if you have to do food, the other restaurant models is very difficult. You have to take care of procurement, getting raw materials, blah blah blah, all the stuff, manufacture it. Your master or chef would just run away, right? Or you would just get high and not come the next day. There's a lot of problems in handling the manpower, right?
Hmm.
So it's very difficult to. So we solve 90% of their problems. So it's very easy to run a model. So that's the reason we were able to easily expand. Like we have four right now in Coimbatore, new ones. Fifth one coming in Tirupattur, sixth one coming in Tirupur, seventh one coming in Erode, and then one other
Wow.
coming in Bangalore by December. So all in the period of last 3-4 months. So in a way, pandemic has identified us. I mean, it has told us that, dude, you've built a great model. Okay, now is the time to scale.
Beautiful. So, Santosh, I remember you talking about being different from the very beginning. And I remember my first meeting with you at Starbucks, Express Avenue, if I remember correctly, right? And you were talking, and I think I found you very different. And I remember I walking into Starbucks, and you had a Kolapsi bottle there, which was very unheard of. Yeah, it's still there, yes. So I remember that very well because nobody carries their own bottle here. I was considered a fool when I carried my water bottles with me, and there was a guy sitting in Starbucks with his own bottle. And then, of course, we started talking, and you spoke a lot about inclusion at that time, which somewhere resonated very well with me. And at that time in the food industry, I think you were one of the pioneers to talk about inclusion and in the literal sense of the word, of bringing in people from different genders, people who were differently abled into the business. So how has it been to be different? And I'm using that word in an industry which is as generic as food. And how does it apply to your personal life? Because I see you being the business being an extension of you. Let me put it that
Yeah. So if you have to say, I mean, the last few months, I've realized one thing that I'm not actually an entrepreneur inherently. I'm a philosopher inherently, which is who is disguising himself as an entrepreneur.
way. Okay.
So,
Okay. That's a
so
nice
that's
one.
what I found out because like just imagine if I'm not running a business and I go tell people that hey, water is not a commodity, no, like don't sell water and make money, right? Nobody's gonna care a damn foot about it, right? Now,
Yeah.
when we run a business and we've run it for many years, and we tell people with by doing it, saying that hey, we have not sold water because we don't believe water should become a commodity. Now we are living by what we're saying. We're showing it by action. Then suddenly it becomes a big deal. Yes, this guy has lost a lot of lakhs by not selling water bottles, like because if you count the number of outlets, like we could have done revenue in tens of lakhs just by selling water or Pepsi Coke, right? So we have not done that. We have wantedly lost the revenue to show to people that yes, you don't have to do certain things. You can still have your character in your business. You can still have a DNA for a brand. Right now, today, no other brand can come into our segment, right? They can make up food, like make the similar food, but they cannot come and say that hey, we have not sold water or Pepsi Coke for 7.5 years. Today, even if they start doing that, by the time they come to 7 years, we'll be 15 years, right? So we
Very true.
created our niche. We created a niche. We created such a compelling story that nobody can come and command that story. So that is our edge over the other brands. When all the other brands were fighting it at the price level, at the product level, we were fighting it at the emotional level. So we were seeing how can we connect with people? What is the point of doing a business? What are the values do you have? Today, why Kolapsi has to do business? Because there's so many other players who can make that food and give it to you. What do we stand for? What are we representing? What are we doing to the society? So these are all the things which made us thinking. Santosh, today, tomorrow, if Kolapsi closes down, who's going to worry about it? Nobody, right? If we've not done something for the society, if you have not something back to the people. So we always wanted to be different. It's just not a business. So I always say that I'm a very bad businessman. I do not know how to do business, but we are good people in creating a brand, in creating a vision, in creating a story. So I'm extremely good at that, but I'm a poor businessman. I, right? A businessman looks at, I put in 1 rupee, I want 1.1 or 1.2 rupee. Okay. A customer comes in, treat him as an ATM card, just wipe him off, just add this, take water bottle, take Pepsi, blah, blah, blah. Just push we don't think like that. When a customer comes in, we think customer is a piggy bank. Okay, now what can it do? How much can I add some value into Nandita? When Nandita comes into a store, okay, can I add value to her? Like, can I make sure that, can I build a rapport with her? So for me, I think business is an excuse to make a friend,
Beautiful. I like that. I really like
right? It's an excuse. That is why I go and deliver, right? Because there's a personal connect, right? There's a personal connect. People, get so excited, when they meet me, hey, oh, you're the co-founder, you're here to deliver, right? And they don't know that I'm learning from them, right? They think it's a privilege, but I think it's a privilege because I get to meet them and ask them, okay, is everything okay? So that we are able to tweak a product. Because in Tamil Nadu itself, it's not a homogeneous state, right?
Yeah.
What works in Chennai might not work in Coimbatore, and what works in
Very,
Coimbatore might
very.
not work in Tirunelveli. Right? So we have to have a mix and match approach, each strategy to different cities and different towns. So me
Mhm.
delivering close to 500, 700 deliveries in Coimbatore helped me to get the pulse of the audience. What are they
Okay.
expecting for? What do they want? What are the spice level? What is the palate taste? All those things I was able to judge, and I was able to get some info by delivering personally. That's the reason I go and deliver. Not that I had to deliver, but if I deliver, there's an added advantage to that.
So, what does you say branding is important, and you were focusing on creating a brand, creating a story, creating an emotional connect, and which you do very beautifully when you personally deliver. It's just a give and take, right? When you give a product, you also take in a lot of the customer back with you. What is your personal brand, Santosh?
My personal brand is
Yes.
what is Santhosh Muruganantham.
Yes.
Okay, Santosh Muruganantham is a happy-go-lucky dude who never bothers about what's happening in the world. He lives in his own world, and uh, and one good thing about Santosh Muruganathan is he doesn't take pill for somebody else's headache.
Okay.
That because even if I take, let's assume you have a headache, if I take a pill for your headache, anyways, it's not going to happen anything to you, right? It's not going to change anything to you. So why would two people, okay, pay for one problem?
Okay. So,
So I
how do you
told you,
handle? I need
I
I
told
need
you
a
I'm a philosopher,
solution right
right?
here, right now.
So, so it's very difficult to see me very down. It's very difficult. Very
Yeah.
hardly I see myself down. I mean, I think in probably in years. Yes, not that I do not have a problem. Yeah, we have n number of problems, but the way I see a problem is very different. So I'm very chilled out, very cool, and I'm very easygoing. I'm an introvert. I'm an extrovert at both times. I can be now. I can be alone. I can be extremely happy. I can be with 100 people. I can be extremely happy. So the amazing thing about Santosh Muruganantham is that wherever he is, he's extremely happy. Even during the
Yes.
lockdown, even during the lockdown, I was the happiest person. I never complained. I was staying in my kitchen. I was living in my kitchen itself. I did
I
not have
saw
a
that.
proper house. So 3 months I lived there in my kitchen along with our employees. I did not have a problem. I had a ball of a time because I do not focus on what things I do not have or what I'm missing. So the moment I came from US to India, not once in the last 10 years, I've felt, oh shit, I made a mistake. I should have been in the US. No. The moment I came to India, this is the best place to live. I never worry about what I'm missing. I'm so happy here. Now I'm in Coimbatore, and this is the best place in the world for me. So I do not think about what I'm missing because I don't have the time. I'm so much in love with what I am doing right now. I don't have the time to think about what I'm missing. So that's Santhosh Muruganantham.
Okay. So what are your core values, Santosh, which you operate out of, which of course is getting shown in Kolapsi, but what are your personal core values?
Almost the same as the brand. See, the brand has the core values from us, right?
Right.
The brand does not have anything on its own, right? Brand is run by people like us. So our core values is what we translated into the business. So our core value of being socially responsible, right? Making sure that we get people inclusive, making sure that we hire transgenders, we keep them in. So setting an example by that, right? So whatever core values of Kolapsi, this is our own core values, which is being extrapolated into the brand. So my core value first is like, you have to be unique. Like you just cannot be like the crowd. There has to be something unique in you. Like you have to be purple. You have to be the purple cow. Right?
Hmm.
So whatever we do, this is something uniqueness. There's something unique within me, and which also translates into the brand, right? And we second thing is you have to give before you get, right? So I'm against the concept of networking. That I do not go to a place looking to go and suck something out of people. I never go to a place and say, hey, I want to go and meet this guy. I want to suck everything out of him, blah, blah, blah. I never do that. Now, first of all,
Hmm.
do I have anything to offer to them? Only then I can ask something from them, right? So you have to, so net giving is before networking. You have to first give into your network or whatever. Can you do something? Can you add value to some people? Only then you have the right to even ask something. So I see a lot of young people who lose their focus and because they just want to go network. I said, yes, you might even know the president of US right now, but does he know you? Right? The problem is, what is he going to do for you? Just because you know an MLA or whatnot, industries, nobody's going to do anything to you guys. Like, are you worth it?
Hmm.
First, you have to do something for somebody else to recommend you, right? So you have to go. So the first 3-4 years, I never went out, right? I was so busy building the product, building the service, building the customers, building the systems, building the customers, building the brand. So when I went out, people already knew, oh, this is Santosh. Oh, this is one of the co-founders of Kolapsi. So because our work spoke, I didn't have to speak. So I didn't have to go and introduce myself, say, oh, I'm running it. People already knew because we had done enough work. So a lot of people miss that. They miss the work and they just try to, bypass it by saying networking. It does not work that way. Like, do you
Okay.
think Facebook founder Bill Gates, they grew because of networking, because they knew other guys? No, they built an amazing product, right? They built an amazing product, and the product grew not because they had friends in Silicon Valley. They had friends who are ministers of parliament or whatnot. So that's not the case. You do not grow like that. So it's a big myth. A lot of young entrepreneurs, like the new entrepreneurs, not young, you could be an entrepreneur even 60. They have this, they have this completely wrong that they have to go and collect 200 visiting cards of all big industrialists or businessmen, and then everything will fall in place. It doesn't happen that way.
True, very true. And I love what you say, Santosh. And I think you're an ardent believer that, stand out or stay behind. I think that's a tagline that you use. And you said building the brand, being unique. And I think I echo very much with what you're saying, being into the branding space, of course. But I remember my first meeting with you, and I think you were going in for some press interview or something, right? And here's
I
a
think a
guy who
photo.
photo shoot for some guy, and I remember, and he said, I'm not going to wear a blazer, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this. I'm like, what do you want? So I still remember that conversation. So here was a person who knew what he did not want out of the clothes that he had to wear for the photo shoot. He had no clue what he had to wear, but he knew what he did not have to wear. So how do you actually use this clarity? And I would call it clarity of thought, because when we go and talk to clients today, or you go and talk to people, they say, this is what I want. And when you give them some options, they say, no, this is what I don't want. So there's a lot of back and forth, because they don't know what they don't want. A lot of people know in general, vague idea what they want, but they don't have any inclination of what they don't want. And that is where decision making takes time. In your case, it was very clear, I don't want these things. Apart from that, can you suggest something? right? So how does this actually work in your favor, or it does not work in your favor at work? Is what I want to ask
I'm a very instinctive guy. I purely run on instincts. When I take decisions, it's more on instincts than on data.
you.
So,
Okay.
I have something in my mind, and
Okay.
sometimes it's very difficult to convey to people. Maybe
Huh.
with you it is so easy, but a lot of people find it very difficult to work with me because what it's in my mind is very difficult to translate to somebody else's
Okay.
mind. And I'm not a guy who can give too detailed description or directions to people. I like
Hmm.
people who are on the go, and they have to catch my imagination, so it's easy for them to work
Yeah.
with me. So maybe in your case, it's an aberration. So I can't take the credit for
Or
that.
maybe I was able to catch it. Let me put it that
Yeah,
way, Santosh. Let me take
and
some credit here then.
yeah, exactly. And within half an hour, you solve my problem. Within half
Yeah.
an hour, right? Like you came,
Yeah.
you picked one, and my best picture it came out from that blazer you picked. So credit
In
goes to
fact,
you.
well,
Yeah,
I must say this was one of the fastest. When we learned, I think 10 years back how to do personal shopping. They said it's going to do a
yeah.
reiki, then it takes 4 hours, 6 hour thing. And here I meet a person in 1 hour. We meet, we understand each other, understand who he is, what he does. Half an hour shopping, and he's done. So I think one of the
Yeah,
fastest partnerships we've ever done.
I make very quick decisions. I don't think too much, It's just a instinct, okay? If I
Yeah, I
like
remember
something,
the
bam,
colors that
boom.
we chose were offbeat colors for you, which was a light blue. I still remember one of the only clients who said, okay, one blazer only I need, but it has to be different. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, this decision making, this quick decision making that you're saying, this instinctive decision making also helps you at your work, is what I want to know. How does it help you, is what I want to understand. Because for a lot of entrepreneurs
I,
here, a lot of us in management, when we learn, we say, go by data is all that we hear. Even I'm doing a course from IIM today. They say, analyze. And by the time you analyze, I'm a person who doesn't believe in this. So I want your views on this because you've created a successful brand out of
no,
yourself. Please.
there are two ways to look at that. Like,
Mhm.
I think emotions are underrated compared to data. Like, data is always, what to say, post indicative. Like, it's
Ah.
what to say. You can't, it's looking at a data, right?
Mhm.
It's very difficult to see what is going through during that time. Okay, now you can look at Nokia's data and say that Nokia went wrong, but during that time it's very difficult to capture that Nokia was doing wrong, right? So at that point of time emotions would help. So if somebody was able
Okay.
to figure out what's running inside the company, right, they would be easier to point out, okay, guys, you are going down the drain. Easier to figure out than looking at the data. So I'm a very, right now I'm changing my school of thought process. Initially, I was like
Mhm.
completely against data. I was completely against data. I was like, come on, man. If data was all the answer, if data was the answer to all questions, then today
Yeah.
we should have 100 Facebooks. We should have 100 Googles. You have all the data. You know what they did.
Mhm.
Why are you not able to create a Google? Why are you not able to create a Facebook? If case studies was the answer, right?
Huh.
If case study was the answer, why aren't we able to build a McDonald's? You give me one. So that's not just the one part of it. Yes, data is very important right now. Right now, I'm coming into a balanced approach because I've made mistakes. I'm learning on my own, right? So we
Hmm.
made enough mistakes to understand that yes, emotions are also there. Yes, data also plays a part. Both are interconnected. You just cannot completely run by data. You just cannot completely run by emotions alone. So that's what I've
Okay.
come to now that we have been in business
Wisdom
for
has
so many
come in.
years. Yeah. So now I'm changing the school of thought process. Yes, both are important. Initially, I was like, oh man, heck with data, man. I have my gut instinct. I don't know because all of my life decisions, everything was gut instinctive. My marriage was a gut instinct. When I saw this girl, I said, man, I'm going to marry this girl. That's it. Period. So most of the decisions and I think a lot of people give a lot of importance to decision. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't. This decision is overrated. Okay,
Okay.
action is underrated. So whatever decision you make a decision and do some action behind it. If it is wrong, you can always go back and make another decision. So trying
Beautiful.
to trying to overanalyze a decision and think how would my decision will fare out in the future is a big problem. It's a big
Beautiful.
problem. because you do not know. You do not know. Nobody can predict, right? You do not know whether your decision is going
Nobody
to be.
predicted COVID. 2020 was supposed to be the year for everyone in all
Yes,
businesses, right?
yes. So I think people don't confuse too much on decision, right? It's like you're going into a new town, right? You have no Google Map. Just imagine. How would you explore the town? You have to take some road. If you keep on
Yeah.
waiting, you will not go anywhere, right? You have to go take some road. Something's wrong, come back, take another road, come back. So that's what a decision is. So these decisions are overrated, but the action behind the decisions are underrated. So if we can switch, it will be easier. That's what I think.
Nice. That's a nice learning, Santosh. Santosh, I have with me someone who knows you for the last 3 years. Okay.
Okay.
She is from Coimbatore and she is a food, she's an entrepreneur in the education space and runs a brand called Shashwam. I have with me Srinati Mohan and she knows you for the last 3 years and she would be talking a little about you now. So
A very
welcome
dear
to
friend of
this
mine.
session, Srinati. You're muted. Need to
Hey,
unmute
Sri.
yourself. Hi, can you hear us? We can't hear you. Hello, Srinati? No. You'll have to check your system, please. No? Okay. I think she's disconnected. In the meantime, I have another guest with us. Okay, and let me introduce him in the meantime so that till the time Srinati
Yeah, I'm
joins
back.
in. We have
I'm
Arun
back.
Kumar. Who's back? Yeah,
I'm
you're back.
back.
No. Yeah, you are there. I'm just looking at Arun. Arun, are you there? I think he's also disappeared. Not there. Okay, we'll wait for them to join in. In the mean, Arun is there. Okay, perfect. Arun, can you bring you online, please? Yeah, so I'm going to introduce Arun to you. So Arun Kumar is a foodpreneur based out of Coimbatore again. I think you have all your gang in Coimbatore, right? He
Now that
runs
I'm in Coimbatore,
your new home, right?
yeah. I love this place. I love this place.
It is a lovely place, yes. He runs a company called Brand Monk Food and Beverage Private Limited with a mission to create scalable and sustainable food brands which is future ready. He has brands like Zuka Pizzeria, Box Pizza, Biryani Bro, Tossers operating in Coimbatore, Chennai, Bangalore, Hosur, and fast expanding in other cities. He's a good friend of Santosh, and he knows Santosh for the last 2 years, right? So I have welcome Arun to this live session. Hi, Arun.
Hi, can you see me?
Yes, we can very much.
Okay, I have no idea where you are able to see because I could not see myself.
No, no, you are there. Now your video has gone. Now you're there. Okay.
Yeah, can you see me?
Yeah.
I can't see myself, so I was just
Yeah,
wondering.
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no,
we
we
can
can
see you,
see
Arun.
you. We can
Hey,
see you,
Arun.
Arun.
Hi Nandita, nice meeting you on this live.
Yes, hi, Arun. Arun, you've known Santosh for the last 2 years, right? How has it been knowing Santosh not as a foodpreneur buddy, but as a friend? Let me put it that way.
Yeah, first of all, I'm really not able to hear you properly. There are a lot of hiccups, I think, on the network. If you could say that again, it would be great.
I said, how has it been knowing Santosh as a food buddy or as a friend for the last 2 years?
All right. Okay. So I'm actually sitting in a restaurant. This is Saranambati branch. So I met Santosh in this place the first time when we opened the
Okay.
store. Yeah. So that's why it's even more special, for me to talk about our friendship. If I could recall, I was always admiring the way Santosh was branding Kolapsi.
Yeah.
The place that I'm sitting in is my fourth branch of Zuka. So I actually called him. I don't know if he could recall this. I called him, and he doesn't know me. We have never met, but I was following him, but I don't know if he knew me
Okay.
before. But when I
Okay.
called him and I said, I'm opening the store and I want you to come, I want you to visit. I don't know if he
Huh.
could recall. I could see from his face. So he readily said, Arun, I mean, I told him like, Santosh, I've been admiring you, you're like doing very well, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. But he just readily said, Arun, I'm coming. I'll come. And you're doing very. He immediately replied back with a lot of positivity that you're
Okay.
doing equally well, and I've been looking at you and how you're doing. I mean, he immediately made me feel that I'm doing very well, like because even though like
Okay.
he has many stores then open and all that kind of stuff. So that was I was kind of thinking, that kind of immediately, I kind of felt that there is some maybe it's his character that he immediately connected with me, and there was no airs. He was very humble. I immediately knew that he's a very humble guy with no airs. So that was my first
Okay.
interaction with Santosh, and then I met him on my inauguration of this restaurant that I'm sitting in today. So that was my first interaction with Santosh. In this last 2 years, we both being in the same industry, uh, both are foodpreneurs, and there are a lot of synergies, a lot of similarities in us. We both are of the same age. Both are like 25, I think. I think he must be 26, 1 year elder to me.
Oh, I thought he's 17.
Oh, okay, maybe we we both are of the same age group, so that's the first thing. Okay. Second is we both actually returned back from the US. I mean, I was working. I only went there for the work, but he
Okay.
actually spent even more longer period of time. And then and when we both talk to each other, we share a lot of restaurant related stuff basically, because we
Okay.
try to support each other. We actually I share there'll be a lot of crib sessions that I do, but he being Santosh himself, I do a lot of crib sessions. But yeah, I mean, I'm also very positive and optimistic, but then when I see somebody like Santosh who can understand what really goes into a restaurant, then we do a lot of crib sessions, and then he always tells me, what you have done is great, and we have crossed like about 95%. There is only 5% to cross. So that kind of positivity and optimism I always admire in Santosh. So I've met his wife. She is a cool person, and my son loves his Nilgiri chicken, and he has done a lot of videos. My son, he has done a lot of videos about Kolapsi, and that's the connection that
Wow.
we have today. And we at least talk at least every alternative day we talk today. I mean, that's the kind of relationship that we have, a friendship we have today. We support each other. It's a fantastic bonding,
No
and just
competition,
to
Coimbatore market, both of you
see.
foodpreneurs, no?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's the even more important thing. I have not felt this with not with everybody, but only with few
Yeah.
people. I see that kind of maturity. I see that kind of magnanimous thought process, generosity, humbleness. All of that. I mean, I'm not. It's not that an exaggeration, but just that this is how I have felt, and that's the reason that I think we've got connected so well in this last 2 years.
So, Santosh, what is when you first met him and he called, did you recall that?
Yeah. I happened to be in Coimbatore at that point of time because we had got an award at that point of time from one of the award sessions from Best Restaurant. So I just received an award, and he had an opening in the evening. So I directly went from Lee Meridian to his opening. I had the same coat which you picked up for me, the blue coat or whatnot. So from the award session,
Oh,
I
so
directly went to Arun's
I am
opening.
somewhere responsible for this, right? I
Yeah.
can
So
take credit. Yeah, yeah.
you are connected, right?
Yeah, connected.
And
Yeah, as per the yeah the universe, I'm connected somewhere with you, Arun. Also done.
yeah, and one thing I loved about Arun is always looking to do something new, always looking to do something different. This is not enough. This is not enough. This is not enough. I want to do something. I want to do something. So that is what got me hooked onto this guy. So I have respect. We had always shared. Anytime he calls me. If you go to a church, right? You remember this father, right? You go confess all your sins. I'm like the father for Arun. Every time he'll come, he'll say, "Oh, I did this. Okay, it's okay, ba. And
But you guys are
no,
making
no,
me feel
no, no.
food
I'll
business
tell
is
you.
no
See,
money.
no. He'll come and he'll say, I have 4 5 wounds. And if I open my t-shirt, I'll have 40 wounds. And then he said, oh, I am better off with this. I said, but I am better off than you. You are worse. So sometimes I have to reveal the wounds to make him happy. So that's how we
Okay.
became, great friends. And when the code actually got me very close with him, since I was in Coimbatore and COVID, we got a lot of time. And that's when we brainstormed and we said, how can we work something together? So today we're like almost business partners because we have tied up with the three of his outlets. So we're sharing space with him. So the outlet he's sitting in right now it's also housing Kolapsi right now. Today we did a soft
Wow.
launch to them. Next week we're doing yeah. So
And
we're
he's
like business
sharing with me,
partners
you want to
right
become
now.
business partners. He shared that with me yesterday.
Yeah. So we have three outlets. So three of us outlets, right? We're sharing space. So there's no other choice. Like we are married right now. I have to look at his face and he has to look at my face for the next few years.
So next Coimbatore trip, I know where I need to go for food. But
Yeah,
listening to
absolutely.
both of you, I suddenly, I was thinking of opening a food. I'll become a foodpreneur back up north and taking South Indian dishes. But the way you guys are saying, I feel there are a lot of challenges that I would face. I thought that's the easiest business to do in life. I thought my business was
Yeah,
difficult.
yeah,
Santosh, you'll have
yeah,
one more
yeah.
person who will
As
be
long
coming
as
and crying. Huh?
everybody thinks like that. I thought like that. Arun thought like that. So welcome to the club. It's okay.
Thank you.
It's like we say, right? Man, how costly can it become to make an idli? Just a little bit dough, mahu, put it in, become idli. It's selling for 40 rupees. And you forget the whole damn fact that you need a Italy master and you pay him 23,000 rupees per month to make that damn Italy, right? You have to pay him. You have to pay his the food, accommodation, right? Everything you have to take care of that. Who's going to pay for that? Right? So everybody is illiterate, when it
Yes.
comes to food business
Yeah,
until you
because
start one.
everybody, in fact, today when COVID struck, I had so many of my friends call me, why don't you start something for food? It will never die and this business will always continue. Now, I can play this video to them and say, guys, Arun and Santosh, two established foodpreneurs, have given me their advice not to do it, right, Santosh? I'll put it on you. Arun, what is the one thing now that you're business partner, uh, now that you're business partner with Santosh, okay? What is the one thing that you want him to change about himself?
I
Santosh, if
think
you want.
before that, I'll just share a few more things about Santosh. I think,
Sure, 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 sure.
yeah, Santosh is actually a natural entrepreneur. Uh,
Okay.
what I really admire in him is that he's always passionate. You'll never die attitude. He's always
Okay.
passionate, and he has got that focus. He always tells me, why are you doing this, why are you getting into that, why you I mean, it's about like individual personality, and he's like razor sharp focused with building the
Okay.
brand Kolapsi. And the resilience, I'm sure, because because since I am treading the same path, I knew what it takes to build a brand, build these many
True.
outlets. I have today 15 outlets, and I think Kolapasi in Chennai and Coimbatore put together will also be 15 or more. And I know that because I'm meeting a lot of Kolapasi franchisees visiting us as well, because a couple of places we are housing Kolapasi. So he's opening up in other tier 2, tier 3 markets as well. So it is not easy. He would have, like the scars Santosh just mentioned, with all of that, he never looks back to a easy road of again getting back into a job or going back to the US, and that really calls tremendous strength and
True.
confidence. And I think if not today, for sure, I'm 100% sure. Whether I'm not sure whether he has got the recipe for I mean, of course, the recipe for biryani is great at Kolapasi, but he has got the recipe for a great entrepreneur. That's in Santosh, and that's what he is.
Wow.
He has got the recipe for a great entrepreneur, and I really really admire something that Santosh has. And another thing is, he as a person, he will connect with anybody, be it the student in the college when he gets to speak, or somebody like me, an entrepreneur who is of a peer to Santosh. He connects with everybody. I think he has got the recipe of an entrepreneur, of a great friend as well. I think I want to give it to him for that.
Wow.
Thank
So
you.
one
Awesome.
suggestion, yeah, I think one suggestion, that's a very, very, very tough thing. But what I've always told Santosh is that he has to do a little bit of marketing. I don't know. He doesn't do marketing. It's all word of mouth, organic. I think he strongly believes in the roots, but I also believe a little bit of flash does really work in business. I think he should start doing a little bit of marketing, the typical marketing. I mean, the above the line, below the line, or whatever, or digital marketing. I mean, he does a little bit of digital marketing, but then mostly he believes in organic, word of mouth, and that's what Santosh is all about. But I think for the current market and the business climate, I think he should adopt a little bit of marketing. I think that's my only suggestion. Otherwise, I think
Perfect advice.
he's phenomenal.
Perfect advice.
Santosh, you can come to me. I'm
No,
always
no,
there.
perfect advice. Perfect advice. Actually, in fact, we are starting the digital marketing game. The last 3-6 months, we've been doing some piloting, and I knew I was lacking there. I thought, I thought we can do everything organically, and I was wrong. And we've jumping to the different school of thinking. So you're perfectly right, Arun. Perfectly right.
Thank
Spot on. Cannot be more spot on. You exactly knew. Yeah, cannot be more
Because
spot on.
I know what you think, what you believe in, what your DNA is. So it doesn't fit in with him. So, but he has to adopt. That's what is required today.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Arun, for coming in and sharing your views about the brand Kolapsi and sharing the insights on Santosh. It was really nice having you on the show. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much. Thank you so much. I thoroughly enjoyed, and I can talk for hours about Santosh.
I know we will have a separate session on that when I come to Coimbatore, for
We'll do
sure.
that offline. Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you, Arun. Thanks for your
Bye.
time.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so
Bye
much.
bye.
Okay, so we have Srinati if she's ready. Yes. Are you there? Yeah. Hi, Srinati.
Yeah, I hope.
Hi.
Are you able to hear me? You're able to hear me now?
Perfectly well.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
perfectly
Yes.
well.
All right, all right, all right.
So,
Yeah.
Srinati,
Sorry,
you know Santosh. No worries.
I had a mishap with my
Technology,
audio earlier.
no worries. Technology always does this to us. That's Murphy's Law, and we've learned to live with it now. So, Santosh for the last 2 years, 3 years as an entrepreneur again.
Correct.
One thing about Santosh that stands out in your head always. So what is synonymous to Santosh for you?
So for me, it was like a trip down the memory lane when I was just watching Santosh, talk to you, and Arun again was on the show.
Hmm.
So interestingly, I think it was the same day, but then that was the first time that I was meeting Arun on his Zuka's launch. That's when
Okay.
actually me, Santosh, and Arun, and all of us came together. I knew
Okay.
these two guys independently. Like I knew Arun from Coimbatore, I knew Santosh from Chennai. But a lot of times it used to be like I used to go to Arun and say, "Hey, that there's this guy called Santosh from Chennai who's running a brand called Kolapsi, and he's famous for
Ah,
all these XYZ things." And the same with Santosh when I used to talk about the good
ah,
things with Arun. So like that, I there are like a lot of things which actually stands out in my mind about Santosh, because on an everyday basis I think I have a lot of friends who are entrepreneurs, but still what's special about this guy, I would say, just like how Arun pointed out, more than the brand, I think Santosh has some personal traits which I think people should just follow, like whether they are an entrepreneur or not. Like how,
okay.
when he was mentioning to you, saying that I don't look at somebody as a machine who pays my bill, rather, can I talk to them first, develop a cordial
Hmm.
relationship. So it's not just always business with Santosh. So
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think that's something that it really stood out in him, which said, first you look at a person, build a relationship, don't just look to
Hmm.
sell all the time. So I think somewhere entrepreneurs forget that, and they're always businessy, right? So very sales focused. So instead, I think this one thing which I learned about Santosh has actually helped in my, personal and professional life as well. So like
Okay.
that, like, there's multiple things that I can talk about, which, sort of I liked in Santosh.
What is the one thing that you want Santosh to change about himself?
Um, Yeah, that's a tough one. I normally, I don't want anybody to change as such anything. But as a
Hmm.
friend, as an entrepreneur, I can always say, be focused on your, we can give 101 business tips. But knowing him also in a personal front, what I would advise him is maybe I think he should put a lot more focus on himself as a person, because I feel he's working 24/7, right? He's either in the colleges going and talking about Kolapsi, he's delivering, he's
I think we've lost it again.
Even the technology couldn't take it up.
So Santosh, not speaking in colleges cannot be heard, because whenever I've seen you, I think we've shared the stage a couple of times, Santosh, on while speaking in colleges also. So suppose there's something which is coming out of what I heard both of them say till the time Srinidhi joins us again. Is how do you manage your work life, personal life, your talks, and you do a lot of college talks, you do a lot of inspiration talks to students, and I heard you are also a badminton player. So how do you juggle all of that together?
Yeah. And so this is biggest myth going on in the world called work-life balance, right? So there is no
I
there's nothing called work-life balance. It's like, I'll give you an example.
Mhm.
Nandita, I know you have one daughter. Do you have one or two? You only just have one daughter, right? Two daughters. Okay. Just imagine
Two.
two
Ah,
daughters. Okay. Just
ah.
imagine you're at work, right? Do you think that you can never think about your daughters? Is it
I thought
possible?
no, I can't. I do that all the time. I'm
Right,
thinking
like,
of
so
work
people
when
say
I'm.
that, no, people have this mixed up. They said, oh, when you go to work, just got to be focused on work and you should not think about anything. Dude, it ain't happening. It's not happening, right? When you go to work, it's something like, let's assume your daughter is sick, right? Obviously you'll be thinking about her, so you will not be able to focus and do your 100%. It's normal, right? Similarly, when you're at home and you have a pressing deadline tomorrow at your work, or you have to meet your client or whatnot, right? Even though you're watching a movie with your kids or whatnot, that will be still running in your head. So life is never about work-life balance. It is all about prioritizing. At some point of time, you have to take, okay, if your daughter is sick, okay, most of your time would go to your daughter. If you have a pressing deadline, you have to pick some time and put more time into there. So the way I work is, okay, what is the most pressing thing right now? Like, what does it take for me to move ahead right now? I look at that. So that's the reason I'm in Coimbatore today right now. Right? Why am I here in 6, 7 months? Because I'm rebuilding the city. I'm building a new city. I'm rebuilding what I've learned from Chennai. Now I've learned a lot of stuff, so I'm not repeating the same mistakes again in Chennai, in Coimbatore right now. That is the reason we're able to grow more faster today right now. What took us
True.
4 years is taking only 4 months right now. Right? So
Yeah.
now today my biggest focus is this city. So next, gradually, once we get 10 outlets here, now already set my plan next for Bangalore. So by December, Jan, either I'll be in Bangalore or I'll be in Melbourne for a month and a half. The talks are going on. If Melbourne goes through, a franchise goes through in Melbourne, I should be in Melbourne by Jan or Feb, and then after that I'll come back and go build the Bangalore city. So that is how I work. I think what is more important, and if it's important right now, I give more time to it right now. So now today, operations is more important, right? Today I can go out. I can easily pull out of operations and just look at the work on the top level. But it's going to create a big hit in the Coimbatore market. So I want to make sure I'm in control of all the parameters, because the initial your 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 orders are very critical, because they are going to build your brand. So those
Yeah.
3,000 people will go and talk about your business to other people. So I want to make sure that initial thing, even though what I'm doing is not scalable, right? What today I'm doing, delivering and all those things, it's not scalable. I knew that. I know that it's not scalable, right? In a business,
Yeah.
you
True.
can't just do always everything which is scalable. You have to do something which is non-scalable to come to a level, then you can scale. So my focus right now is operations. I'm not looking at anything right now. I have to make sure how my orders going. Any complaints, any feedback, any complaint, I'm there within 15 minutes
True.
back with some other food or something. I'm directly handling it right now. I can easily push it out to my franchisee or whatnot, right? But I'm handling it because I want to make sure that the initial, the word of mouth, the initial image of the brand is clear, it's clean. Yes, we will do some mistakes, but I'm willing to own up those mistakes. If you've done a mistake, I'll go and fix it up. Yes, you've done a mistake. I'm sorry. It has happened. So
True.
this is how I think, and I could be wrong. Like, you see, what works for me
No,
might not
I
work for you.
resonate
So
with you. No, no, I resonate with you, because even for me, when people say, when they do branding, they say, no, no, we only want this part and not this part. I say, until unless I don't know what's happening, because, I cannot disconnect from family. And whenever I go and do a deep level understanding of people, and especially in my coaching industry, a lot of problems stem from home. So you can't say, I'm cutting off my family, I would only look at my professional growth. It doesn't happen that way. You need to actually, for me, again, it's 360. You cannot say one part of me, office, only look at how I dress there. It doesn't happen that way.
No,
So that's why when I
no.
talk about branding, also I talk
No, there
about
are so many. No, there are so many factors. Like you cannot be good in all areas at the same time. It's impossible.
true,
Like if you're spending so much of family time, where will you have time to build the business?
true.
If you're spending so much of time in your business, where you time to maintain your family? It all depends upon your uh, what to say your ecosystem. Okay,
Hmm.
fortunately I have a fantastic partner or wife that she understands, right? She's never put me under pressure. She's never tell, where are you, why are you not coming to Chennai? So she said what she did, smart girl, she came to Coimbatore, stayed with me for the month, and she replied. All right. So that's how, that's
That's
how.
how it
So
is.
people knew that this guy is not going to listen. I will not listen to anyone. That's Santosh. I will only do what I want to do. So people will go around me. I might look like an arrogant, rude guy, but then because I know where I am going, so I cannot afford to do a lot more stuff, right? And one good thing about me is I don't smoke or drink, so I do not have a lot of time going into those activities. So that kind of that actually helped me a lot, right? Very rarely, I don't drink. Very rarely even I go out or hang out. Okay, now maybe after my spend seeing this thing, maybe I should hang out a little bit. Maybe I will try. But the advantage I'm saying is, as an entrepreneur, the initial few years, I
Hmm.
got all my Saturday night back, all my Saturday nights and Friday nights back to me, because I did not have to go out, whatnot, because I had my time. And that time I invested back into the business, and we were able to build a brand.
Beautiful.
So it all depends. So that's me. That's me. So what works me, I do not need an external motivation or external affirmation saying that you need to do this to relax. No, for me, relaxing is brainstorming. Relaxing is talking to some other entrepreneur and helping them out if they have a problem, right? My biggest high in the world. The reason I've not touched weed or smoking or drinking, because I'm already high. Why do I need to do something else to become high? I'm already high. You look at me, right? I'm already high, right? So my biggest high is not
Then
going
your
to
problem
Switzerland.
will become more high for all of us.
No, my biggest eye is not going to Switzerland or not going to Austria, Vienna, whatnot, and then going for a vacation. No, you put me near a dump, near a garbage dump, and find another guy, another entrepreneur, or my co-founder, and we have a new problem to solve. I love that. Like if you have a new problem to solve and we brainstorm, I can brainstorm for hours, and I come alive. So that's Santosh. That's me. So
Beautiful.
nothing else would give me a bigger high than brainstorming or working or trying to solve a problem.
Beautiful. So that brings us to we have Srinati back here, and I would like her to complete her sentence here. So she was saying that you need to give more focus on yourself. Yeah, please you can continue.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
Santosh is like all live wire. Santosh is all live wire, so he's doing something to my whole StreamYard thing here in my house. Yeah, so good show. So let me complete my sentence before I go
Huh.
off again. So I was like, just like how a mom or a sister or a friend would give that piece of advice saying, business alla pannadu podum, unna paathuko அந்த மாதிரி. I just want to tell, see, I think he's doing a great job as an entrepreneur, right? But then I somehow feel as a friend, probably he has to chill a little bit, basically. It's always all about Kolapsi all the time, either talking about it, delivering food, or of all that sort. So I think, see, business will definitely grow, but then if he can do something, take a break, take a chill pill at times, I think that's something that I would like to tell him. But nothing on the professional front. I think professional front, he's hustling and trying to do things. So I think he'll definitely figure out a way where things will work, and I think things are working pretty well with Santosh. Like, otherwise, being in a food industry is definitely hard. So now that he's been in it for so many years, I think he's figured that sauce perfectly. So I think it's all going to go well. So he has to take a bit of a relaxation at times, maybe.
Now, one thing I want to
And
add about
yeah.
her is she is
Ah,
the real hustler. I don't hustle. I have a different philosophy in business. I don't hustle at all. I whistle because I love what I'm doing. Right? I don't feel it so hard that I'm hustling. I whistle and I happily go and deliver, do whatever I want. I'm whistling. But she's the real hustler. And for last 2 3 years, I've been the go-to person whenever she has something very difficult to understand. Hey, Macha, should I make this as a brand or should I make this as a business? Should I do this? Should I do that? She'll call me. She will call me and she will eat my brains out. That is the problem with her. She will not leave me until I give her a solution. She would eat my brains out. You tell me, now. See, she exactly knows which question whom to answer. She knows that. She's extremely smart. This girl is extremely smart. She can pivot. She knows this is not working. She'll understand that and she will pivot. She's one of the
Yeah, but
greatest
then,
entrepreneurs in women.
yeah, though
She's
I
one of the
know a lot
greatest
of
entrepreneurs.
though I know a
Wow,
lot of
that's nice.
entrepreneur though I know a lot of entrepreneur friends, nobody gives this piece of advice that he says, like, he treats people as people and not as business agents. So, and then a lot of personal inputs as well for me. So I think that's what has helped. Yeah, it's not like I don't have other friends or mentors who I don't have access to. But with this guy, I think it's something very different. The way he looks at the whole business through his lens, I think it's very different. So whether you like it or you don't like it, you cannot ignore him. So I think
Okay.
that's why the whole city is talking about him. You like him, you don't like him, but you cannot, like, really ignore him. So somewhere
Beautiful.
I
That's
think
the brand. That's what we say in branding. People can love you, they
yeah,
can hate you, but they can't ignore you. So I got
correct.
the right
Yeah, I
person
think
for my interview today.
he's that sort of a person for sure.
Thank you, Sriniti, for coming in and coming back again in spite of the live wire ensuring that you're not there. So thank you so much for coming in. Yeah. My last section is a rapid fire round. It has to be really rapid fire. Okay.
Okay.
If
I'm
you
sure you're
win this
not going to
rapid
get me.
fire,
No, I'm sure you're not going to get me into trouble like Hardik Pandya or all those guys. Okay,
no, I'm
like
not
coffee.
guaranteeing anything. If you win the rapid fire, I get a box from Kolapsi. That's the only deal. Right? Oh,
Wow!
yeah,
What a marketing!
yeah. So, see, I'm marketing you, so I can go and take a picture and put it on Facebook. That's called Facebook marketing or influencer marketing, right?
Right.
Okay. So, okay. Oh God, where's the question? 1 second. It just got disappeared. Maybe you are a live wire. Questions disappeared. Here they are. Yeah. Okay. Uh, who inspires you? Fast.
Myself.
Okay. Santosh in 3 words.
Cool, chilled, friendly.
Okay. One song or quote that represents your life the best.
Life is not a war to fight. It's a canvas to paint. It's
Beautiful.
my own quote.
Awesome.
It's my own quote.
Okay. That I think you were there when we. Okay, no, you were not there in that conference where they said,
It's my own
create your
quote.
own quotes and start marketing them. Yeah. So really good one. I will be using it in none of my programs going
No,
forward. And I
because we understand it wrongly. That we think life is like you have to fight every day. Just imagine if you're in a war, right? You're not happy, right? You are already in pressure. If somebody's winning, somebody's going to kill you, right? You are not yourself in a war. So why would you want to be in a war? Right? You are lucky to be a human. You're lucky to be alive. And why the heck you want to be in a war? Right? For me, the way I see is today, like today I woke up and my canvas is empty. Okay, what am I going to do today? Today I'm going to meet Nandita. Okay, maybe some couple of my friends are coming in. What am I going to paint? So today I'm going to paint something which is going to be there in my memories forever. Right? That's
beautiful.
how I see life.
Beautiful. I love that. I'm going to use it in one of my training programs going forward.
But give me credits for that.
I will definitely. No,
I'm just
no,
kidding.
I will not
I'm just kidding.
infringe on that. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No. As a speaker, I think I need to give you credit for that. We belong to the same fraternity there. One thing that you can undo in life.
Accept my mistakes immediately and apologize and relearn. I don't
Okay.
have any ego. I don't have any ego. I can easily, if I know I've done a mistake, I can fall at the feet and say I'm wrong. I'm bloody wrong.
Beautiful. One thing you want to change about yourself.
Nothing.
Nothing? The legacy you want to leave?
Maybe no. Okay, if I want to change something, maybe
Don't say your wife. Not allowed.
no, no. Why would I want to change my wife? Come on, she's the best. She's ultimate.
Okay.
No,
So
no
one
one,
thing
no
you
one
want
can
to
handle.
change about it.
No, one thing I want to change about me is maybe a little bit more discipline. Yeah, maybe discipline.
Okay.
She get
Okay.
more discipline.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yes.
The legacy you want to leave behind. As Santosh, not as Kolapsi. As Santosh, what's the legacy you want to leave behind?
Uh, Not legacy. I just want when somebody. I only want one thing. When people think about my name, they see something. They say, "Man, this guy
Hmm.
is cool. This guy is a nice guy. I had a nice conversation, or I is a good friend." I just want to have something positive from anybody, whoever they interact with me, or even just see my video on YouTube. Right? I just want or is there something I can add value to somebody? That's it. Like I will be extremely happy if somebody, man, this guy talked something in the video and he added some value into my life. That's the only thing I want.
Beautiful. That's awesome. So, Santosh, you won the rapid fire round, and I get the box from Kolapsi OMR branch delivered at my place. Done?
This is bogus to the highest level.
I told you you would not be getting a hamper, so you can give a hamper if you want. I'm open to taking one, right?
But you're a vegetarian, right?
No, hardcore non-vegetarian.
Okay, cool. The next time I come to Chennai, I'll deliver some food to you. Okay,
Done deal.
done.
I love
Done.
the fact that you'll come and deliver. So at least I can chew
Yeah.
your brain or discuss some business strategies also. Done.
But the
It's a
problem,
double
but the
whammy.
problem, the problem has happened right now is since I'm delivering, people really think that I'm the delivery guy. I said, "Can you come and deliver here? Can you come?" I said, "No, I'm not a delivery guy. I do it out of love and affection to my friends and family or our regular customers."
So I
So
would not call you a delivery guy. I will request you to come
no,
and do the
no,
delivery
I
so
am
that
a
I can have
delivery
a
guy. No,
conversation.
see, I can call myself a delivery guy. I don't have a problem. But you don't
Huh.
think I'm a delivery guy. That's
No,
what I'm
no,
saying.
no. So, Santosh, last thing, anything that you would like our foodpreneur friends or anybody who's starting off new in the entrepreneur journey, any advice to them before we sign off today?
Uh, I think one of my favorite quotes and one of my famous quotes. Now it has become world famous. The quote, right? One of my
Okay.
quote has become actually world famous. Okay, it says that thinking of becoming an entrepreneur is a torture. Becoming one is easier. So this is the first edition of it. Or this is for the newbies. Okay. Now
Okay.
I have an updated version for it. This is the first time I'm coming live and talking about the updated version of it. Okay. For
Privileged.
new people who have not got into entrepreneurship. Okay. Thinking of becoming an entrepreneur is a torture. Becoming one is easier. So what does it say in a nutshell is that the longer you keep thinking about doing something, the higher the chances that you will not do it. Okay,
Okay.
I repeat it again. The longer you keep of thinking doing something, the higher the chances that you will not do it. Right? Now, maybe I'll cut short my experience of bungee jumping. Right? I was in Singapore about to jump from the ledge, bungee jumping. Right? And I was standing there. I got this enlightenment like Buddha. Right? Saying that when I was standing on the ledge, right? And then I was
Huh.
standing on the ledge. I said, like, I was cool. I was about to go jump, and then I developed all this inherent fear that oh, I don't want to jump. Like, so there I
Yeah.
realized that Santosh, if you're going to stand there for 5 more seconds, right, your brain is going to shout through your ear. My brain was shouting through my ear and saying every logical thing in the world, not for me not to jump, not to do the
True.
bungee jump. Because say, dude, you have a family, you have a business. Why the heck do you want to jump? Something happens, everything is gone, right? It gave
Yeah.
me clearly all logical explanation why I shouldn't do something. So
True.
the longer I stood there, I wouldn't have made the jump. So what I did, I instantly jumped, right?
Jumped.
So the point I'm trying to say is, you keep on thinking, keep on thinking, keep on thinking. It's not going to happen because you will have logical reasons. Oh, I have a EMI, I have this, I have that, I can't leave my job, I have somebody to take care. There are enough logical reasons for you to not do anything, which you wanted to do, right? So you have to jump. And one thing is suddenly everything is an investment, but business becomes an expense. Like for you to study from LKG to 12th standard, it's an investment. You pay fees is an investment, right? You
Yeah.
pay 4 years of college, that becomes an investment. Nobody's ever said, "Oh my God, I lost 5 lakhs in my engineering degree. I lost 10 lakhs in my MBA. Nobody does that. But if you do a business and you lose money, suddenly, oh, I lost 4 lakhs. Dude, come on. You've learned something from your college and you learn something from business. It's only a loss when you do not learn from your loss.
Beautiful.
If you learn from your loss, that becomes an experience. That is how you become a better businessman, better entrepreneur. So it is perfectly okay. It is okay. You will make mistakes. You will make losses. You cannot, build a business or an enterprise without making losses. So it's a part and parcel of it, right? So that's the first edition of my quote. The second edition of quote is that I repeat it fully, right? So thinking about becoming an entrepreneur is a torture. Becoming one is easier. Version 2 is, but staying one is bloody damn tough. Staying an entrepreneur is bloody damn tough. Okay? So don't just get in just because of the trailer. Because the trailer is good. Because you see Santhosh going and talking in Josh Talks and he's got a 700,000 views and whatnot. Oh, he goes to college, whatnot. He makes money by speaking, Oh, he's cool. He has blah, 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 15, 20 outlets, this city, that country. That's only the trailer, brother. There's a lot more things behind it. So staying one is extremely excruciatingly painful. It's not so easy. So now I have to come out and and give the second edition too, because a lot of people have actually started business just by looking at the quote. Can you believe that, Nandita? Just by looking at the quote, a lot of people have started business. They come back to me in LinkedIn, in Instagram, and Facebook and say, "Oh, Santosh, I've seen your video. I saw your quote, man. For 10 years I didn't do something. After your video, I actually went and started a business." So it's very rewarding and it's very, on one side, it's very interesting. But I have to tell them, okay, the second part is there. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's easy to start, but it's damn difficult to stay one.
Very true. Very, very true. Very true. So my personal learning from interacting with you, of course, you've been an awesome speaker. I've always admired that. But is that one, I have a lot of experience by my side. If you say losing money was experience, I have lost a lot in business. So I have got awesome experience in business. And I survived as an entrepreneur up to now and hope to do so in the future also. So thank you so much for coming in, Santosh. Pleasure talking to you,
always.
My
pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. I think I have to give it up to you because I've done a lot of interviews. I've done a lot of interviews like this now, more than hundreds. Okay, but this is very special because you had brought in a couple of my friends, and to have my friends come, and these are very dear friends, to me. They are like my family friends. My entire family knows these two families. They were like family friends, very dear friends. And when you have them talking about, it's a completely new experience. It's only I've always talked. This is something new to somebody else talking about me. It's very nice. So I have to give hats off to you. I have to appreciate the fact that the way you've structured this is very interesting, very nice. Keep it up, and my best wishes, Nandita.
Thank you so much. And I'm into branding. So branding is also what people speak about you. That's the very reason we get in guests to speak about you, rather than you talking about your own journey. So that is the whole intention.
Makes sense.
Thank you so much, and pleasure talking to you. Yeah.
Sure. Take care. Bye-bye. See you.
You too. Bye-bye.